Right, I just had a call from them. I've got the other, this is in kind of three parts where I paused it. I took the phone call. I've recorded that anyway, and now I'm back again. This is sort of a part three. Oh, mate, I am in so much agony. But this is the thing. I don't think I thought at first I was being poisoned by these fuggers. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you never know with these people. But I mean, that would be quite a risk for them anyway. But they can, like I said, cause that inconvenience to you, where you're in agony for a couple of hours or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe it is the food. I don't think it's the food because, like I said, I've eaten there several times and I've been okay. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't know. And what can I prove? You know what I mean? There ain't nothing. Again, that's one of them. How do I prove it? Do you know what I mean? They ain't going to bring a forensic team in here to, get samples or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. And this is what Freemasonry does. They call. This is why. I just went down the hospital, obviously, but I was thinking, yeah, this is a chance for you to get something in me. Do you know what I mean? So I go in for an operation. Do you know what I mean? Give me a gallstone or something like that. You know what I mean? You just don't know with these people because they are. When I walked in there, the ambulance dude, yeah, because obviously there's a few. You look at ambulance drivers, how many are first responders to an accident or whatever. You know what I mean? That's why they got Lady Diana. Do you know what I mean? You know. Anyway, he recognised me. I know a few others down there as well, male and the females. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, there's one female who waved to me while I was in my van, and then like this guy who does drugs, blah blah blah, was in the back with her, and then sitting up front with her or leaning over her shoulder, and it's an ambulance, and I'm like, what the hell was going on there? I don't know, but that's another story. Do you know what I mean? But I know these, I know for 100% fact these people are first responders. Do you know what I mean? And when you're in that when you're in that ambulance, yeah, and it don't matter if it's a male or a female, yeah, or two males, yeah, they can do whatever they want in there. You're in a secluded, back of an ambulance. What's to say what goes on in the back of that ambulance? Do you see what I mean? And that go in any, I remember, on a delivery once, I'm in the birthplace, yeah, I don't want to mention who or what. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's my family. You know what I mean? But they brought in all these people just to look at me in this room. Do you know what I mean? Because they knew who I was, obviously. Do you know what I mean? But that shows you the power they got within the NHS. Do you know what I mean? And everything is Masonically run. Do you know what I mean? They have the power over every fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to be careful where you eat. You know what I mean? Where you sleep, do you know what I mean? In certain hotels, do you know what I mean? Because they got the peepholes, trust me, you know what I mean? You think that's all like boom, boom. I just did an upload on Errol Flynn, yeah? He had them in his house, do you know what I mean? They used to have them in, what's his name? Oh, that bloody one who done Playboy Mansion and all that. They have peepholes, and they do it in their hotels, do you know what I mean? Yeah? And everything they capture, yeah? Because a lot of, you go in, you think, oh, they're private rooms. They're not. They got secret hidden cameras in them. Do you know what I mean? So nothing's private in a Masonic hotel. And all hotels, if you do the research, are owned by families that are nepotism and hand it down and all to do with Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? And the whole system runs on blackmail. Do you see what I mean? The whole system. And I can go into the people that are on drugs that are your doctors, do you know what I mean? Let alone anything else, your nurses and your medical people that are on, compromised by cocaine or heroin, offshore workers and blah, blah. And I can go on and on and on, all the different trades of industry that are compromised by, drugs, do you know what I mean? It's just madness. But this, I was thinking, oh fuck. But them two sitting in front of me, obviously I took pictures of them. You know what I mean? Um, just for anything that was dodgy. Anyway, this is why I do what I do. Do you know what I mean? He was leaning over his shoulder, looking at me. Do you know what I mean? Go, yeah, that is him. Do you know what I mean? Boom, boom, and confirmed it was me. Because the other guy recognised me. Well, I recognised them. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't know or confirm it until he lent, like I'm facing the back of his head and the other guy has had to lean right over to his left to look at me. Do you know what I mean? To confirm, looking at me. And then he kept, giving it the old thing. I was going to get up and say, but again, you look like the madman, you look like the crazy person, because then you'll put, and they'll just sit there going, I don't know what you're on about, I don't know what you mean, he's crazy, and get you thrown out or something like that. So I just kept my mouth shut. Do you know what I mean? But that's part of what Freemasonry do, and if you are a truther, you've got to put up with that, and you've got to be careful what you eat, what you order, and where you order from. Do you know what I mean? Because they control the kebab shops, they control all the food industry in your town and in your city. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, if you're on drugs, you need to know what your dealer's dealing up for you, because if you're a truther, and you're on drugs, they're putting shit in your drugs, you know what I mean, specifically to make you fucking ill. Do you know what I mean? So you got to be careful what you're taking. That includes drinking in a pub or a club. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because they got glasses down on below. Do you see what I mean? And they pick up the glass that's got that in there. And they go boom boom, and you trust them, don't you? No, you can't trust them. Do you know what I mean? Because they're everywhere. Their eyes and ears are everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And they're messing you up all the time. Do you know what I mean? I could go on, about other stuff, where you're, like you'll be ill for days or something. Do you know what I mean? That's due to them. Do you know what I mean? Because they're giving you things. Do you know what I mean? Because they're getting it off the Masonic doctors. Do you know what I mean? But they can create scenarios, like I said. I'm going to get into this book, Mah Hah Bone. I just see it's so wonderful. Obviously that'll be printed up and there's a lot of things, but this is like, I just kept this page here. I just thought, because while I was talking, I thought I just, you could pause it and then you can read it at your own leisure. But it's quite interesting. I'm going to turn it this way, so you'll have to turn it. Oh no, look at that. Oh, what way would I go? Would that be the right way? But that's now getting in the. Let me put the light up a little snadge. No, that's still getting in the way, isn't it? Well, let's try that. Yeah, there we go. You'll have to excuse the shadow, but this whole book will be scanned, it will be shown. But again, this goes on about the Church of Rome and everything else, etc., etc. So you just got to pause the video, you know what I mean? And again, I did a post on, what was it? Ask yourself why all children's homes, are called lodges or compass. Look it up. Do you know what I mean? Because they run all the children's homes, they run the social services. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, they name stuff after themselves. Do you know what I mean? I'll go through this twice. You know what I mean? For those who read slow. But this is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? This is why they, everything in their name. You know what I mean? Like, I don't say his name, Mr. Hilter, in the war. Everything and every building, if you look at it, most of it was all in his, all over the place, all these different things. I don't like saying this stuff because they restrict the video, but still in the background, if you look at it in Art Switch and all that, them gates and everything like that, you'll see the Masonic symbolism in it, because they're responsible for anything and everything, all wars, and it goes on and on and on, but you can pause this and go slow, and read it at your own leisure. But this is just a little bit, and I just think, this is a very, very important book. And this, like I said, this is what the Freemasons don't want you seeing. They don't want you reading it. Obviously, it's got all their secrets in it. You know what I mean? All them Masonic secrets. Because I'm the best Cowan, the best go-to MB, by the way, as the Grand Architect of the ultimate Masonic device, baby. You know what I mean? And this is it. And I can go on and on and on with this book. It's a beautiful book, you know what I mean? It's pure this is for the anti-Masonic people, do you know what I mean? But this isn't giving you lies, this is giving you truth, do you know what I mean? And they know that. They don't want you reading this, they don't want you seeing that, you know what I mean? And they know that. everything in Freemasonry is good, you know what I mean, and good rapport, you know what I mean. That's what do you think is called what is it, what are they, that you're a pillar. See, he's a pillar, yeah, Masonic pillar, Jachin and Boaz, he's a pillar of the community. Do you see what I mean? You try finding a profane person that is a pillar of the community, you won't, because all the pillars of the community are Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? And that's how crazy it is. I'll just do this last page for you guys, you know what I mean. See, that's where a pillar of the community, see, because it's to do with Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? But this book's lovely. I haven't fully read it yet. I'm still going through it, obviously, but you know. But where was I? Yeah, so I've been doubled over in agony, do you know what I mean? And it just seems strange, yeah, that there's two Freemasons in front of me in the next booth, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, I'm an hour out, you know what I mean, and I'm dying, you know, doubled over. And I never go to the hospital. I've been in that hospital for years. That's a death sentence, do you know what I mean, to most people? You know, bugger them. But here's some of their grips. Look, this is all coming out. I'm going to show you everything. Look, there's the lion's grip, yeah, of a master mason, yeah, and they raise him from the dead, see, and when he raised him from the dead, he's then a god. Do you know what I mean? He's a living god that's been raised up from the dead. You know what I mean? Here's the oh bloody hell, the 5 points of fellowship, toe to toe, knee to knee, yeah, hand on shoulder or hand over back, and then mouth to ear. Do you know what I mean? There's more to that, but because of the hands are crossed like this, yeah, and the legs are crossed like that, that gives you a cross. Do you see what I mean? When you look down on it, you know what I mean? There's the old griplet. You see what I mean? Oh, baby. And here's a past master. Look, that's the lion's paw there. Look, see? The strong grip of a master mason or lion's paw. See, that's what the lion's paw is, and you can see presidents is doing it, you know what I mean, and all of that. Yeah, here's past grip of a master mason. See, you know what I mean, all these grips. Oh, sorry, and these stances, that's the Halen sign, the grand Halen sign of Freemasonry. You know what I mean? Oh my lord, baby. And here's the two stances here. Look. It's the penal sign. Every time they give a sign, yeah, right, there's a penal sign to reply to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, for a recognition on the street, yeah, one will come up and say, have you seen my dog? Yeah. And they'll go, how high is it with this? Yeah. He'll say, is it this high, right? And then he'll reply with this, yeah. You know what I mean? Or he'll say, you know, for instance, he'll say, did it have a blue collar on it, referring to the collar of Freemasonry? Do you know what I mean? And you say, well, if I find him, where shall I live? Oh, I live at number 33. Do you see what I mean? And that's the code of how they do it. You know, there's others. I'm trying to think about it. Oh, what's the dog's name? Hiram, or it'd be Habif. Do you see what I mean? You know, and things like that. But these are street plays they do on the street to see if they're, you know, if they're Freemasons. Try it. Just get a random man on the street, just see him walking along, just say to him, have you seen my dog run past here? And then, you know, go through the code of it, you know, he'll say, is he this high? And he'll give the sign, do you know what I mean? He's this high, do you know what I mean? Then he'll give a penal sign, do you know what I mean? He'll say, what's his name? Hiram. What number do you live at if I find him? Oh, I live at number 33. What was he wearing? A blue collar? Do you know what I mean? All of that is signs of recognition, what they use on the street, and they just reckon us that's for, you know, for actually you know, that they use in the lodge. It's not. Do you know what I mean? You know, look, falling to raise the supposed dead body of the reverend. See, the reverend, they're using him as an example, but he's a dead body because of its putrefied condition. They all kneel around his gravelet and pray to the god of nature to help them, right? And then that's when they raise him up with the strong grip of a master mason, which is the lion's paw. See, and then they raise him up on the 5 points of fellowship, yeah, right, foot to foot, knee to knee, breast to breast, hand to back, cheek to cheek, and mouth to ear. And the mouth to ear is where they see, you know, where they give them their Mah Hah bone, baby. You know what I mean? But all of this is what they do, you know. Look, see. The second search, look, you see, where they look for the, where they look for him. You see what I mean? Then they go around in a circle. You've seen this. That's already been filmed and documented by a secret camera. You know what I mean? So you've seen all this. But again, like I said, this will all be put up, and that'll all be there for you all guys to read and at your leisure. Because I am the Mah Hah Bone MD, baby. You know what I mean? But again, all of this, look. You know what I mean? Look. So he plays dead when he falls into the canvas. You know what I mean? And they get raised up from the dead. You know what I mean? Get buried, look, you see? So the only person I know who ever got raised up from the dead, you know what I mean, or whatever, was Jesus. And these people are doing it en masse every day and every week as members join and go up through the levels of Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? Near the Iron Lodge, look, see? Look, praying for himself. He doesn't pray for anyone else, he just prays for himself or his brothers. You know what I mean? No, at the 19th chapter of the whatever that, and both points of the compass elevated above the squarelet. See, that's on top. As you go up through the degrees, that may be underneath, or they both could be underneath. You know what I mean? And they've got to be set sometimes on certain degrees. You know, on the square, things like that. Do you know what I mean? Also, when they're this again, they dress in different types. Like one arm will be bare, or one leg will be bare. He's got two legs bare here and two arms bare, and the cable toe, rather than round the neck, is round his body. Do you see what I mean? But how big your cable toe is depends on how like more of a god you are within Freemasonry, is how far you'll get helped. Do you know what I mean? But here it is, the candidate of a master mason, look, yeah. He is conducted into the preparation room as in the preceding degree. All his clothing is removed as before. Both legs of the drawers are tucked up above the knee. Both sleeves of the shirt are tucked up above the elbow. Both breasts of the shirt are turned in. See, where it used to be one, making both breasts bare. The hoodwink is again fastened over both eyes, but one hoodwink, like as you go up through the D's, only one eye will be, like covered. Do you know what I mean? So you got the one-eyed god. That's when they turn into the one-eyed god. Do you see what I mean? Depending on your thingy. Anyway, over both eyes, and the cable toe is put 3 times. See, there's their lucky 3 around the body. No slipper is used in this degree. Normally, that's one slipper on, one slipper off for slipshod or whatever the bloody hell it is. Yeah. Should the shirt be closed in front, it must be taken off or turned front backwards. Yeah. As both breasts must be bare. An apron is then tied on and worn as a fellow craft, and thus he is duly and truly prepared. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes on and on and on. Do you see what I mean? But each one, look, when they kneel, yeah, see, one leg is kneeling, look, and 2 hands up, yeah. When he comes to the altar this time, look, both kneeling, both hands on the volume Sacred Law, look, you see, with 3 candles. You see, there's the 3 again. Do you see what I mean? And this is what it's all about, you know. But you know, like I said, is the one where the one leg, look, and one slipper on, one leg off, look. See what I'm saying? But look for all these signs. These signs like this, they're all in your movies and your TV programs. You know what I mean? If you didn't know it, Charlie Chaplin was... But when he gives that sign, yeah, that's the sign of reply, yeah, which is the sign of a fellow craftler. The dugard of a fellow craft, yeah, and the sign of a fellow craft. So it's always that, and then you get the different grips, look, you see? regardless of what you do in Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? See, look, due guard of an entered apprentice, the penal sign of an entered apprentice. You see, so there's that. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I've had that done to me. This, yeah, they put that like the hand halfway across the palm. Do you know what I mean? And they're waiting for that reply there. Do you know what I mean? Little mingers. Oh, you'll see. You know what I mean, my profane friends. This is what it's all about. You know what I mean? And this is how they go round the lodges. Look, you know what I mean? In a particular way. But like I said, if you're in, they'll find you out within seconds if you ain't got, you're getting instructed for this for like years. Do you know what I mean? A few years on each. Obviously, if you're born into it, yeah, you're getting rushed up straight to the top. Do you know what I mean? You ain't got to do nothing, mate. You know what I mean? What makes you a master mason? My obligation. Where were you made a master mason? Master mason in the regular constituted lodge of master masons. Where were you prepared? See, and it goes on. And you got to learn these words. Do you know what I mean? Because this is how they test you. You know what I mean? It goes on and on and on. Do you know what I mean? But there you go. I thought I'd just give you a little butch. And my belly ache, thank God, ain't too bad now. Do you know what I mean? Look, the body of Osiris. Yeah. The following engraving represents the fellow craft interrogating everyone whom they meet in the prosecution of their search, just as Isis integrated everyone whom she met when searching for the body of Osiris. You see what I mean? And this is where they get into it. You know what I mean? How important their conversation with the wayfaring man, and having received strict instructions from King Solomon, the worshipful master, to be sure and find the ruffians, and then it go on and on and on. But you see what I mean? This is a wonderful book, and it will be scanned for your delight, because I love you all. Do you know what I mean, my profane friends? And you've got to remember, these books, yeah, are warnings in 1879 about Freemasonry. And what do we see today? Nothing. Because they're, like I said, when you've got a dominance over people, yeah, you can persuade them and say anything and do anything you like, and they will follow you. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, if you're popular, they're going to follow you. Do you know what I mean? And people, that's what it's all about. Popularity. Do you know what I mean? And they're the most popular people they're the pillars of your community. So they will be followed, and by that I mean they're willing it down. They're the football, you got a football team, they're the people involved in it, running it. If you've got a rugby team, they're involved in it, they're running it. If you've got a local pub with a landlord, he's the one who's the Freemason. He's got the say over people. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a gang of scooterists or bikers, they're in the top echelons, and they're the ones running it and controlling it. Do you see what I mean? And that's what Freemasonry is all about. You know what I mean? And then obviously you've got the people who they protect. Yeah, they own all the land around your town anyway. If you do the research, you know what I mean. And the same names crop up all the time when you talk to people, and just in normal conversation, you'll get the same names crop up all the time, every time. Do you know what I mean? But it's willed down in nepotism, and they never. Do you think, for instance, like say you've got I don't know, I'm trying to think of a well-known business or something what was in your town, without putting too fine a pointers on my own town and people I watch. But for instance, all right, let's say like the Pleasure Beach here, yeah? Do you think anyone else, like a profane person, is going to own that? Like a pleasure park, or anything like that? Do you think a profane person is going to own that? No, because it's willed down through history by the same people that ran it 100 years ago. Do you see what I mean? And if you go look, they've got the dates on it: 18 this, 17 this, 16 this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's the same people, the same families that run it over and over again, and all it is just, past here and past there. You know what I mean? Well, it's now your turn to look after it for the next 50 years. Do you know what I mean? Now it's your turn. They just keep swapping it. That's all they do. They just keep swapping it and rotating it. So we think that that because we're working in a factory, or we're working in a not a factory, factory, obviously, a shop stacking shelves, we're working McDonald's, we're going to work in Poundland, we're going to cut hair, we're going to, all this bullshit, that we're going to become millionaires. Do you know what I mean? Successful business people. But that's all a fucking lie. Do you know what I mean? You're going to keep on poverty street. You're going to slave away. So long as we grab your rent, so long as we predict your electric, gas, so long as we do your rent, we're your landlords. Do you know what I mean? You're getting nothing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Keeping you living on that poverty line, so you always work for these people. You know what I mean? Always. No, don't get me wrong on this. Some of them are very hard workers, and I'm talking about, the drug dealers amongst them as well. They work hard. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when you're on an agenda to keep a town suppressed under your jackboot, because you want to live comfortable, that's wrong. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, you're not just manipulating a town or a city. You're manipulating whole countries, estates and counties and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you are the ruling elite. Do you know what I mean? And you've just got people in every town and city doing your bidding. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't know who the top higher echelons are, but I do know who they are in my town. Do you know what I mean? That's the fucking difference, because of the research. And they want me, like me, I don't know nothing much. I don't know anything about number 10 Downing Street. I just remember like Maggie Thatcher, Tony Blair, maybe. I don't know. I think we just had a woman prime minister. You know what I mean? But I don't know it. I know they're all Freemasons, and all Freemasons. In Westminster there's 2 or 3, Masonic lodges. There's a Masonic lodge in Buckingham Palace. Do you know what I mean? So you imagine that. That tells you that Jimmy Savile was a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? And everyone in Buckingham Palace, but they'll say, oh no, but they'll tell you who's a Freemason and who ain't. You know what I mean? Blah blah blah. Over 13 presidents or 14 presidents. I think it's 13. I'm not too sure, but we're Freemasons. But the point of the matter is, I ain't interested in none of that, because I can't do nothing about number 10. I can't do nothing about, Washington or any other country. Do you know what I mean? But I know within my own town who's corrupt. I know who controls it. Do you know what I mean? And their names are never mentioned or even exploited. Do you know what I mean? In the papers or any. Well, there's a few that get in the paper and that, but like I said, I think they're, minor masons. Do you know what I mean? And they're the front people for these other elites. But if you don't think your town's being answered up by these same people, they are the elite. And you can call them whatever you want. The Illuminati, the Knights Templars, the bloody Mr. de Moles, all of that are answering up to the people that run everything. Do you know what I mean? That's just, like I said, the pyramid starts in a village, and that village is run by the town, the family, and then the town is run by the city is run by the county or the state, and then the state and the county then goes into all the states and the county, the top head figures. They meet every 6 months, or once a year, to make sure their counties or states are okay, do you know what I mean? And then them people that own all the states or all the counties, they have their official meeting, but they answer up to someone different, who owns, say, the United States, who owns Britain, who owns this, these certain families. Do you know what I mean? Which are there is a one world lodge, believe it or not, but the point of the matter is, like I said, and you can go further afield, why we can't travel here and travel there, but every Freemason, if you look into it, like Captain Cook and all of the ones, the reason they're the explorers is because when gold is found, they're the first ones to get it. Do you know what I mean? Or the oil or whatever else. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. And that's been that way all the time, And all they just keep doing is take off the profane. Do you know what I mean? If you think you're free, go try and set up try and build, go out to the, like, just on the Acle Strait or something, and you start to build a house or even a hut. You see what turns up to get you off that land. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't build anywhere. You can't be free. You've got to be where they put you so they know where the frick you are. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No one's free. You go down to the beach. You try living on the beach. Make a beach house. Go on, and you see what turns up. Do you know what I mean? Because they own all the land. Like I said, you try going in the sea and doing this and doing that. You see who turns up and gets you out of the sea. Do you know what I mean? You try and put like a barge or something on the sea, and you start living on it. You see, they'll come. They'll come for you. Do you know what I mean? They'll move you off. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, and people don't realise this, but what they do, they cleverly do, yeah. They know everyone who's on it, like I'm on a terrorist list, yeah, because I speak out, because I know who they are, what they are, yeah, and they want to shut me up. I know that, yeah. In the first time, the amount of meetings they've had apparently, and again, it's another story, about me. I'll just say me in particular, yeah, because they that's what they do. And whether to kill me or put me away for a long time, you know. I could tell you a story now. Oh, what happened again today, which is kind of strange. Someone threw me a bundle of money, what was packaged. It was about 10 grand, right? And it was packaged, sealed, you know. And I actually grabbed it, but then I wiped it down, yeah. But the thing is, see, cleverly, right, because obviously it's criminality and all that. But the point of the matter is, I just went to visit someone, do you know what I mean? And they give it to me like casual, and I thought, that's a bit, I went, how much bloody, he went 10 grand sort of thing, I went, oh, okay, cool on the gang, it don't bother me. And I thought, fuck, you know what I mean? I've touched that. So I wiped it down, right? Now that could be a setup, right? Just by me touching that, yeah? Because the way he picked it up was by finger and thumb, yeah? And he threw it on the table. And then I obviously just picked up normal, used all my hands, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like just shook it with both hands, you know what I mean? Just turned it over and had a look at it, put it back on the table, you know what I mean? But I thought, oh no, I ain't having this, do you know what I mean? So then I got a cloth and I wiped it down, yeah? And he go, what are you doing, you mad twat? You know what I mean? I said, well, for starters, if that money bag, right, got put with a shotgun or a pistol with shells, yeah, and a bag of heroin or a bag of coke, yeah, they're going to come for me. Do you know what I mean? And or even if someone else get arrested, that got put, wherever that goes or whatever. Do you see what I mean? I'm then coerced into a conspiracy. Do you see what I mean? But the Freemasons, that 10 grand there, or even if it had been 50 grand, that's nothing to Freemasonry. They got billions of pounds, millions of pounds. Do you know what I mean? Even though they'll deny it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you got to imagine, how much drug money, they receive a month. You know what I mean? These people that run your towns and cities that are drug dealers, the amount of money they're pulling in. So 10 grand or 15 grand, whatever was in that bag, the sealed, vacuum sealed bag, yeah, would be nothing to them to get rid of me, to put me in jail, because I, just with the gun and the shells alone would be enough, to put me away for, say, minimum of 5 years, right? Do you see what I mean? And in that 5 years, that's a lot of time to, one, put me in a dangerous situation constantly, yeah, make me flight or fright constantly in jail, yeah, and you never know if you're going to get slashed, stabbed, killed or jugged with like sugar water or anything else, do you know what I mean? And people that do that just for a bit of crack or a bit of fucking spice, do you know what I mean? And that's the sort of thing that I have to watch out for, do you see what I mean? And this is what and this is what you got to watch out for yourself. You got to watch out for these traps because they make them for you, do you know what I mean? To put you away for that purpose, Anyway, there's me rattling on, but do you know something? My belly's all right now. I'm not, seriously, I'm a lot. Oh, no, that ain't. Yeah, I'm a lot better now. I thought I was going to be horrendous. Do you know what I mean? But I pooped up, like I said, and that's feeling a lot better now. Oh, mate, I don't know though. It's not as agony. I'm not like bent over double now, so I'm a lot better. And they're going to ring me back anyway, but I'm not going to take that one, I don't think. Well, I am, because obviously I've got to see what they say. But but you've got to watch for these traps. If you're a truther, they're doing anything and everything they can. Like I said, if they they put a load of during COVID, yeah. Another instance, yeah. Um, I put petrol in the van, right? The petrol comes say to 100 quid, right? Yeah, right. Fill the tank up. I went to Scotland, yeah. Now on the return trip, yeah, I put 150 in the tank. So where did the other £50? Do you know what I mean? So fill up my tank was £100, yeah. For the return trip, when I was filling my tank up, it cost me 150 quid. There's a big £50 difference there. Do you see what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, because obviously I've been in the menders and all that, and I don't know what goes on, but I know they're snidey, sneaky buggers. They could, I could have done a drug run there. Do you see what I mean? Without even knowing I'd done one. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of things they do, to anyone and everyone. It don't matter who you are, what you are, the risk is minimal to them. Do you see what I mean? That's how, how they can stitch you up. But I'm very careful, not to, get myself in trouble like that. You know what I mean? I don't do drugs anyway. I don't, I don't have none of that association with it. But like I said, if that was given to me, that money in malice, do you know what I mean? That's enough to put me in like a conspiracy type situation. If they wanted me, yeah, and we're talking, I'm dealing with criminals, yeah. I'm not dealing with like, normal people. I'm dealing with criminals. That's what they do. Do you know what I mean? So just be aware of like traps, what they set you, And like I said, when you go out, these people recognise you because you've only got one face to remember. Do you know what I mean? And they go, bub, bub, bub. Obviously they've got GPS they use on my, they've done all sorts to me. But like I said, they can start a fight with you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then they have the witnesses there to go against you and then put you in jail like that. Do you see what I mean? Because you defend yourself. It don't matter. You can defend yourself. It depends what them witnesses are saying. And if they're all Freemasons or friends, people involved in it and don't even realise that you're a target or a mark, but they're like coerced. How can I say it? Like, the Freemasons will coerce them into saying, well, that didn't happen. I see this. Do you know what I mean? And persuade it. You know what I mean? Like, how can I say it? It's hard to explain. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit like mass hypnosis, really. But you'll see, like, for one instance, yeah, someone will say, "Oh, I see a man with dark glasses, yeah, and a red beard, yeah." Now you get three people go, "No, he didn't have a red beard. It was black." You know what I mean? Definitely black. You know what I mean? That was the raven colour black. You know what I mean, right? Something like that. You get three men say that to him, yeah, and then say a couple of women that are Eastern Stars. He'll agree with what they say because he doesn't want to look stupid. Do you know what I mean? Because he wants to keep with the crowd. And they know that by coercion, under pressure, peer pressure, you'll go with it. Do you know what I mean? Or they will go with it. Do you see what I mean? You know? And some of them wouldn't even be a witnesses themselves, you know what I mean? But they will, but that's enough for this person who's nothing to do with Freemasonry, who's being coerced into what he believes he saw into something else. Do you know what I mean? Again, I can go into so much stuff about, what I've experienced myself. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to watch these pitfalls and these traps because they're doing nothing but trying to constantly trip you up. Do you know what I mean? And get you and stuff you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they're doing. Like I said, on tape, I've got it. You know what I mean? they're trying to put him away for 30 months. Do you know what I mean? And shit like that. Fucking hell, man. That's your Freemasons for you. Do you know what I mean? So if you're a truther, just be careful, And that's me not lying, that's truth, facts. Do you know what I mean? Talked about killing me and murdering me. Do you know what I mean? And, other bits and pieces I could go on about, but, this is what your Freemasons are all about. They're the community harassment squad. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that shut people up and shush people up. You know what I mean? And like I said, when you get a Chinaman run you over, they go, oh, there's a Chinaman on holiday. Do you know what I mean? Can't drive, and that's acceptable. Do you know what I mean? Not that someone will say, or even think to say, oh, is he a Freemason? Is he over here doing a job for Freemason in the lodge? Has he been to the lodge since he's in here? Do you see what I'm saying? and then they'll send an Englishman over to China, for instance, or Japan or whatever, and he'll do the same favour for them. Do you see what I mean? And that's how they shush people up. So many accidents ain't accidents. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, when you've got first responders that are ambulance drivers, blah blah blah, and coroners and policemen, they can sell or swap any story they want, and the profane will swallow it. Do you know what I mean? Same as Lady Diana, innit? Everyone swallowed that story, yeah. But what do you know? Her tyres could have been pumped out. You know what I mean? Or it could have been, a purposely done crash. Do you know what I mean? He's like, obviously he's a professional driver. They learn how, same as a stunt man learns to fall, he learns to crash, blah, blah, blah. He could have learned that. Do you know what I mean? Anywhere he could have learned that, to crash that car. Do you know what I mean? Things like that, But the important thing is, right, yeah, is that the first responders on that scene, yeah, the ones turning up are Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? Because they run your ambulances. Do you know what I mean? And I dread if I ever have an ambulance turn up for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I know exactly what would happen. They top me. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't make it to the hospital, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's me rabbiting on as usual and that, and I'm a bit tired now. It's like freaking hell, whatever time, I don't know. What is it? It's 4:13 now. So yeah, so I'm a bit, I thought they poisoned me. I seriously did. There's the pillars of community. Look, the supports of the lodge. See, that's what they are. You see, you got to know all of this stuff, yeah. See, that's what it's all about. Anyway, I'll go through this. Like I said, you can get all of this. They got secret, everything's secret. They were about, you wouldn't know they were about, in your community. That's the thing with these people. But if you want to find them, look for the posters, yeah. Like there's a circus in town, like the circus, for instance, here, Freemasons. I'm trying to think about, nightclubs, where they advertise for the nightclub or the boxing and shit like that. It's all to do with Freemasonry, everything, rugby, football. Do you know what I mean? Where the footballers meet and that, they're the ones that look like successful businessmen, go down to your local race course. Do you know what I mean? All of that. That's all the people that run your town and city, and you'll see them eating well, doing well, and they're all Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, they're all businessmen, what's his name? What's his name? He was a businessman. He had the soup kitchens. Oh yeah, Al Capone. Him and his businessmen. But anyway, I'll add a picture, yeah, and just how Al Capone is now walking today, yeah, through Chicago. I hope I still got it. I got it the other day. You'll notice and see that the same people, if you know where to look, are still doing the same thing today. Do you know what I mean? And all they've done is took out all the good people, yeah, and added all, and put everyone who's corrupt in positions of power. Do you know what I mean? Because they can shush up their crimes, and we can keep these people working as slaves within the UK and the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, my profane friends, I'm talking sense. Do you know what I mean? Especially them Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? What's that? Look. Oh, baby, the covering of the lodge, the celestial sky. See? They go on and on, man. In the lodge, the Mackay. I'll tell you how it is. Yeah, look, here they go, look. You see? So watch it. You know what I mean? See, look, two saloon keepers. They always own the saloons. You know what I mean? Because it's part of the community, yeah. Where people congregate and you can hear things, you can listen to what's going on, how people feel. Do you know what I mean? Within your communities, and that's the first warning sign for any Freemason to then go, go shit. Oh, we're in trouble here, and they'll report it to other Freemasons, and they can shut it down. and a peddler as they search and fumble over the body of the dead candidate. You know what I mean? Or gambler. Doctor of divinity or gambler. Proceeding to search for the master's word. Let it go on and on and on. Do you know what I mean, my profane friends? I forgot the master's word now, but we'll find it. It's in here. You know what I mean? Is them represented. But there is a master's word. And go. Oh yeah, the point within the circle, which I was going about, represents the phallus of Osiris. That does. But you can get into that anyway. You know, like I said, there they are. Look, there he is in the top hat. The worshipful master. Look, that Mah Hah, the real name of the god of masonry, the Gao-tu. Look, you see. The Gao-tu, Grand Architect of the Universe, MD, the Masonic demise of its worship, which is Freemason, and always to pronounce with awe and reverence. So they have to pronounce that with awe and reverence. The Gao-tu MD, and which is in fact they are solemnly sworn never to speak above their breath, and even then only upon the 5 points of fellowship, which is obviously breast to breast and all that bollocks. And this being unquestionably the case of the religion of Masonry, ought in all consistency be called the mysteries of Mah Hah, as the religion of Egypt, as I can't see, was anciently called the mystery of Osiris. But there you go, you know what I mean, my profane friends. These Freemasons, we will get them by that. We've got to pull the screw right out of their compass. That's what we've got to do, pull the screw right out of their calm piss. Look, sworn worship of Baal, for in fact he is just now representing the Baal or Tammuz of the ancient mysteries. And then I'll let you pause that. You know what I mean? Can you say that he is a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ? And then it goes on. You know what I mean? And I'll just do the next page just to torment you. And then I'm going to end it. I've been chatting for 47 minutes. Can you believe it? I don't have to talk a lot, don't I? Oh, baby. See? Anyway, the Masonic fraternity. I don't know if you can read that. Let me do that like that. Well, the modern Baal worshippers, in imitation of their ancient brethren, join their priests in a similar possession and for previously the same purpose. I mean, who's raising the dead all the time? You know what I mean? These people. Oh yeah, no, I've shown you that now. So there we go. You know what I mean, my profane friends? Remember, their betrayal and tyranny knows no bounds within your community. You know what I mean? Here in Great Yarmouth, I know them as gang stalking, drug dealing, pervert following Freemasons. Mah Hah, baby. You know what I mean? And they know it. They think they're gods. You know what I mean? But there you go. They've made me a vomit, a victim of Masonic ill treatment. I am a targeted individual, and I am a Masonic mark. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, baby. I am a perjured individual, willfully stalked by master morons. Anyway, have a great day, my profane friends.